It's a great day to talk hockey with Grant McCagg on HabsCast.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday night. It's Friday. Remember that old song? Great news today for the Mittelstadt family. Yes, it's Casey Mittelstadt's younger brother, Luke, got signed by the Habitants today. 2-year contract. Also signed with Laval, so he will end the season with the Laval team that's missing some defensemen right now. Luke was a 7th-round pick for the Habs in 2023, 197th overall. So, to end up being signed by a club that has a lot of depth, it's a testament to finding yet another solid player in the 7th round. Because a lot of 7th rounders, 6th, 7th rounders that play college hockey don't end up signing. But he played 4 years, University of Minnesota. Look at those stats, 21, 20, 18, 21. So pretty consistent production-wise from season 1 to season 4. He was plus 22, plus 11, plus 23 in his first year, minus 10 this year. But on a Minnesota club that, safe to say, wasn't quite as loaded as it had been in previous years. I thought Mittelstadt was pretty solid this year for the most part. War the Sea, the fact that he, this was his senior season, he didn't have to sign with the Canadiens, right? I mean, he could have waited out and became a free agent, but you know what? Who's the last guy to say no? That the Canadiens wanted to sign, who went to college, that said no, I don't want to sign with you guys. It's just not something that you see very often, right? And why wouldn't you want to sign with the most storied franchise in hockey history? And an organization on the rise with great development coaches, like he'd be talking to Rammer and Frankie Bouillon all the time, and he'd be coming to camps and develop camps. He'd met Adam Nicholas, all that. Not a better organization to be coming up as a young player, and they need him right now in Laval. Louis Jean played his first AHL game tonight. They're thin with Toby Bisson and Adam Engstrom out on the blue line, so he'll likely get to play down the stretch here. And I think he's a pretty solid prospect. Minnesota's season obviously ended with their loss the other night, 7-1 to Wisconsin. LJ Mooney hasn't signed, which tells me that he won't be signing, and he shouldn't. He's played 1 year. He's 5'7". I'd say 2 more years for LJ, probably be the best thing for him, but certainly at least 1 more before he considers turning pro. But good for him. Do I think he has NHL potential? Probably not, but do I think he can, become a half-decent AHL defender? Sure. Why not? So add to the depth on a team that's obviously loaded on the left side. It just goes to show you, like, I'm sure he knows, like, Montreal is just absolutely loaded on the left, but he's probably realistic about it. He wouldn't be considered a prospect that's likely going to crack any NHL team soon. So why not go to one that's developing quite a sterling reputation for development these days? Good for him. Good for the Habs getting him signed. You'll see the termination of a few contracts, obviously, down the road here as time goes along. The Canadiens also they made another minor league deal with Riley Kidney being shipped out yesterday. That's so they picked up a goalie, Hunter Shepard, which was needed. They needed to I think it's a sign, obviously, that they will be they're going to be keeping Fowler up with the big club. I would say that's safe to say for the rest of the year. Kidney was 63rd overall pick. He went one ahead of Oliver Kapanen when they had back-to-back at 63 and 64 in 2021. He had a really good playoff that year in the queue. I think he led the queue in points or assists or whatever, and then 100 points the next year in the queue, but he just never, his skating just didn't improve enough. He didn't get strong enough to, whatever reasons, Pascal Vincent didn't really warm up to him and never really gave him a top 6 opportunity, which normally a player picked in the second round is going to get a decent look at the AHL level in your top 6, but he never did. And, he moves on to the Senators organization where he'll get more of a shot. I mean, they don't have very many good young. I was talking to AJ Yakubek yesterday, TSN 1200, and, I was saying to him, like, they're other than Ridley Gregg, they don't really have much in the way of under 24 forward prospects that look like they're, surefire NHLers. So, I mean, he brought up the name Halliday, but I believe he's 24 already, so he didn't even qualify. It's pretty barren. So Riley Kidney becomes one of their better forward prospects, probably under 24 in the system right now. So, hey, I hope he finds this game. I hope he gets opportunity there. Sometimes that's all it is you just need opportunity. And he didn't really get that in Laval. I thought he should have, but he didn't. And I mean, I'm not there day to day, and I'm still pulling for him. I thought he was a pretty solid junior player, but there's still some physical limitations there. He's got to get stronger. He's got to get quicker. So Jake Chason, 4th round pick of Edmonton, bigger body, right? The better fit for a Laval club that already has quite a few smaller forwards in the lineup anyway. So in that regard, he made more sense to get to upgrade size wise and maybe a little more physical. And then of course Hunter Shepard. So it was 2-for-1 deal, which, I mean, it goes to show that Kidney still has some value. Ottawa obviously thought, okay, well, we think enough of this kid that we'll trade a forward and a goalie for him. And, Hunter Shepard will be Kakanen's backup and likely for the rest of the year. I guess they didn't think Hunter Jones could do the job the AHL level. Just add some more depth with Fowler up with the big club. I think it means Fowler's up. I think Fowler's up for good here. So other news that just came down, Radko Gudas, 5-game suspension for his hit on Austin Matthews. I don't know too many people that didn't think that it was awfully I'm no Austin Matthews fan, but that was a dirty hit. I'm sorry. And what also came down here is update on status of Austin Matthews. Toronto Maple Leafs announced today that Austin sustained a grade 3 MCL tear and quad contusion. second period of his game against the Ducks. He'll be reevaluated in approximately 2 weeks. A further update will be provided at that time. He will miss the remainder of the 2025-26 season. Maybe in a blessing in disguise, in a sense, for the Leafs. I mean, an MCL tear is obviously any cartilage ligament tear is not good, but if you're going to get one, you don't want the ACL, you want the MCL. And the fact is that Toronto probably wants to finish with a top 5 pick in the lottery, and they'll they're not going to come right out and say it, but they want to finish with one of the 5 worst records in the league so they can keep their pick. And not having, the Hart Trophy winner from 2 years ago, obviously will help them in that regard, even if he had not been playing that well lately. Although he did finally get off the schneid, I think, last night and got his first goal in 14 or whatever. But yeah. So the Islanders lose tonight. Hey, last 2 nights have been good to the Canadiens. It couldn't have gone much better last night with Detroit losing, with Detroit lost, Buffalo lost, and Boston lost last night. Islanders lose tonight, so the Canadiens it's looking a little better every night. If they can win 2 games this weekend, I think they're pretty good shape. They're already in good shape, but pretty good shape. The next step, but Gudas 5 games. I mean, we knew that when he only had the phone hearing that it was only going to be 5 games, right? But I think enough's enough with. It's time to replace George Peros. I don't know what, the U.S. Changed. The U.S. government changed, the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War, and I think it's time. The NHL needs to follow suit and rename it from the Department of Player Safety to the Department of Offender Safety, because it just seems like the head of the Player Safety Department always gives a break to the offender, to the guy. When somebody gets seriously injured, the guy that injured him never gets the same penalty. Like, if you're out for the season, that's a penalty. You're penalized, you're out. And the guy that does it to you never gets a similar sentence. It should almost be a rule where at minimum they get half. They have to serve half the time of how long the person's out that gets hurt. And if it's serious enough, game for game, eye for an eye, knee for a knee. It's ridiculous. I'm not a Austin Matthews fans, but even Habs fans are sticking up for it was egregious, and it's not the first time for this guy too. Like, if it was a guy that had no history whatsoever doing it, fine. But and I'm not one. I'm the first guy to say, look, people don't. It's extremely rare that a person purposely sticks their knee out to run into another person's knee, because you can blow your own knee out, right? But that, I'm sorry, you look at the angle, he had his friggin' leg sticking out like that and ran right. Like, it looks purposeful, like as purposeful as I've ever seen it on a knee. And tore his knee up. Captain and best player on the Maple Leafs. So it's time. Like, since the player safety department was named, I don't know, 2011 or I don't know, whenever it was. Brendan Shanahan was the first one. Okay, Stefan Quintal the second. Chris Pronger was in there 3 years, which was a joke too, Mr. Stickman. And now George Peros, who was first and foremost an enforcer in the NHL. So they've had 4 guys, player safety, who all used to hammer other players in the head as hard as they could, quite often. Like they pounded on the heads of other players. All of them became the heads of player safety. First of all, why does it have to even be a former player to begin with? Like, why could it? Gary Bettman and Bill Daley aren't former players. They run the league. So why does the head of player safety always have to be a former NHLer? And why does it have to be a former goon? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's fossil mentality. And it's all run through Colin Campbell, who used to run it before that. And what did he do? What was he probably best at? Punching people in the head when he played in the NHL. And so it's still, till he's gone, till Bettman's gone, it's not going to change, I guess. And, you know, and Bettman, whenever he's told, like, whenever people say, oh, you know, like, remember it was like Arizona's got to move. And the last thing, he jumped through 5 million hoops to try to make sure that didn't happen, even though it was obvious that they needed to move. And then finally, when they had no choice, when they didn't have an arena, okay, I guess you got to move them. Same deal with the player safety, you know, like everyone's been calling for it for years. Get someone else in there. Oh, no. We know best. I know best. I'm Gary Bettman. I know better than everybody. It's time. Get rid of them. You know, why don't they get in a former Lady Byng winner? If you want player safety, someone who might care about, someone who didn't ever injure anybody on the ice, someone who never slammed their fists into somebody else's face for a living. Why don't you get somebody like that for player safety instead of the guys that end up, it's offender safety? And why does the NHLPA never, like, you know, they seem to go along with it too, to a certain degree. Like, they'll bitch and whine about it a bit, but why don't they just say, all right, part of this new CBA, we're not signing till you get that fucking George Peros out of there. And somebody who wasn't an enforcer in the league in charge of player safety. Like, you know, I don't get it. I know there's a macho attitude in hockey to a certain degree, and, you know, you gotta act tough and macho, and, you know, oh, well, no, that's fine. But come on, enough's enough, you know. Like, some of this is suspensions that have been more than 10 games. We're not as bad as what blowing out a guy's knee like that. What I think was a purposeful hit by somebody who's been suspended more than 20 games before, who's an egregious offender, a repeat offender. It's ridiculous. I've had enough. Anyway, there's my little rant on the Department of Player Safety. Donnie McCaskill. Hey, Don, thank you for the I saw the yellow. I love when those yellow notifications come up. $10. Excellent. Thank you very much. Hey, you're superb. Thanks, Donnie. So Michael Hage, 4 points, 4 assists the other night. I put up a video that just off of Michigan highlights and I only noticed that he had 2, but he did indeed have 4 assists. I got 10 minutes of video highlights here I'm going to show, and it's pretty cool. By the way, I watched most of the Laval game tonight. I guess they were due, right? They were due for a bit of a clunker on the road. Utica is fighting to get in their playoff lives to get in. Reinbacher on the ice for a couple of goals against tonight. First game I've seen in the last month where, okay, he was at best average. He got kind of walked a little bit at the blue line. He was kind of standing still. Guy went around him and he was out of the play on one goal. Other one, he had the puck behind the net, tried to pass it over to his other defense partner. I mean, he didn't get any backup. I don't really blame him too much for that one, but he was there and he didn't get it out or get it to a teammate. So they got it to the front of the net, nobody there. So he was on for 2 goals against. Mind you, he was out for a shorthanded goal 4, which Jack-High got. Nick Dawes just he was behind the net and he handed it to Jack-High. Jack-High did a little bit similar to the goal that Texier scored the other night, but with no goalie in the net. The goalie was behind the net, so unassisted, but Reinbacher was on the ice for that. I still say, this plus minus, if you score a goal shorthanded, you should get a +2. And the guys on the ice for the other team should get a -2. I don't know why they don't do that. That's what I would do that, because I mean, it's right. You're up a man, you get a goal against. That shouldn't be -1. That should be -2, and vice versa for the team that scores shorthanded. I think it should be +2. Anyway, if I ever become an NHL GM, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up at one of those Florida meetings. Meshar got the other one again. A kind of a turnover to Davidson. Got the puck behind the net, fed it up to Meshar, and he popped one. So wasn't a great game by Laval tonight. And hey, there are going to be these games, right? They're not going to, and especially without 2 of their top 4 defensemen out, it was bound to come and bite them in the ass at some point. I haven't looked, but people are notifying me, telling me that Pickford scored goal number 44 tonight. This guy just doesn't stop, does he? What a friggin' goal machine. I think, he got 9 or 10 of his last 11 or something like that. He scored goals. Like, it's just, it's unbelievable, this kid. And I mean, the game obviously is not anywhere close to being over, right? Or actually it is almost the end of the second period, but Pickford, 44th goal of the year. Man, oh man, and they just scored again, so I'll double check, but he didn't score. Okay, I thought someone said that he had 43rd the other night, but I guess he didn't score against Regina. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 11 goals in his last 10 games. And night's not over yet. So congratulations, Bryce Pickford. You are having a season that no other defenseman in CHL history has ever had. It's pretty incredible. So, now it's 3-2. The goals are coming hot and heavy. It was 2-1. Medicine Hat, they made it 3-1, and then they haven't said who scored that yet, but Lethbridge just scored one to make it 3-2. So, but one other thing here before I get to Hage. Craig Button made a list of top 50 prospects outside the NHL, I think it was. NHL affiliated prospects rankings. He had Fowler 3, Hage 6, Jarosky 20, Reinbacher 28, and Pickford 38. Not bad to have five prospects in the top 40. But yeah, I mean, I'll take that, right? Especially with what 4 of the 5 not even being top 20 picks, and you got 32 teams, top 20 picks. If you 32 times 20 is a lot more than 40, right? And the Habs have that's incredible. That's incredible drafting, isn't it? Now Hage at 6, that's fair. I mean, I personally, Reinbacher would be at the top of that list for me, and he'd have been ahead of Fowler too. I'd have him top 5, maybe for sure. NHL affiliated prospects. Zarowski definitely wouldn't be ahead of him for me. I mean, you could argue Hage and Fowler, I suppose, but in my mind, Reinbacher at 28 is he's not the 4th best prospect on the Montreal Canadiens. He is the best prospect, and I don't think it's particularly close, to be honest with you. I mean, Craig's a great guy, and I'll never put him down as a person. However, he is spread a little thin. They ask him to do too much there at TSN. I mean, he's covered. I think he covers his Vestia tournament. You're watching the Spangler Cup, and there's Craig, and the next night he's in Anaheim covering an NHL game. Then he's U18s, and he's at the World Junior, and I know from a personal standpoint, you just don't have time to he has to put out a draft list every year, so he has to be scouting prospects, right? Draft eligible prospects, and then he's also got to cover the NHL. He's got to come on TSN and watch the hockey games and be at hockey games, NHL games all the time. There's just not enough hours in a day to there's no way that he got to see David Reinbacher very often this year, or any of the Habs prospects, because just he'd have to done it for every NHL team on top of and these are drafted prospects on top of looking at the draft eligible ones. He puts out lists of underage 16-year-olds, ones that are coming too. They make him do everything, so he's got too much on his plate. And I mean, it's just take these lists with a grain of salt, because that just like if I want, I could rank who I think are the top 5 prospects in Anaheim's system and this and that. But whenever I did a couple of things where it was kind of related to what other teams' rankings would be, I'd ask guys that see these players all the time, because I don't have time. I didn't have time when I was doing draft rankings every year in a draft guide. You see a few drafted players here and there, and bit of NHL hockey and other teams and stuff. But my main job was to rank prospects, and it's a friggin', it was a 12-hour-a-day job for me, 10 months a year. So anyway, it's not a horrible list. I don't agree with it. And I think, I've seen a lot of the Habs prospects. It's my job, right? I mean, I've seen just about every Reinbacher game, every Hage game, every 75% of Zarowski's games, and Laval, I've seen probably 75% of their games. So I can say just safely that it's impressive the point totals that Jarowski's got this year, but when you take a close look at him, and compared to what, the all-around game of David Reinbacher, it's just night and day difference as far as, play away from the puck, physicality, skating, just about every box that you check off other than playmaking assists for Zurowski and stick handling. Every other box, David Reinbacher by a fair margin. But anyway, the point being here, even if they're not in right order, having 5 Habs prospects in the top 40, I think is I wouldn't disagree with that. And that's the main thing. The order, you can argue the order one way or another, but testament to Montreal having the best under 24 talent on an NHL roster, or one of the 3 best, and then also in the system, right? Not just on the big team, but outside of the NHL. So how promising is Montreal's future? It's just well, Liam, I don't know if you saw Liam McGuire put out an episode after this, so go check it out. He put out an episode today on HabsCast network, and he's just saying, hey, it's been so long since you could be this excited about the future of the Montreal Canadiens and the young talent that they've assembled. It's just it's been long overdue, but it's great. And the next decade, buckle up, Habs fans, because it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. It already is. I mean, they're the Cardiac kids this year, right? Right now, they're the second youngest team. Most of the year, they were the youngest. I think by the end, if they call up Reinbacher and sign Hage and bring him up, they'll be the youngest team again, I would think. So it's pretty cool. Youngest team and in the playoffs solidly. That's I think that's a pretty cool combination. My book. Just one more thing before I do the Hage. Just curious now. I am going to have a look at the standings. All right, updated standings here. So the Islanders have played 2 more games than the Habs now, and they're 3 back, right? Pittsburgh's played a game more, 3 back. Detroit, 2 more games, 3 back. Bruins, 4 back, and played 1 more game. So actually, Bruins have been happy with how they lost the other night, but they're probably happy with the other results too, because they actually, win percentage wise, they're 6th now, I guess, which is kind of cool for them. Montreal 2 back of Tampa. Each have played the same amount of games. Only 4 back of Buffalo and 2 games in hand. So the the Atlantic Division is still very much up in the air, and the Habs are right in the thick of it, folks. And they have a what I think is a favorable schedule coming up. I mean, they've got quite a few of their games here, 3, 4, 5. They've got quite a homestand coming up here, and it's time to make hay while the sun shines here. They've got one game on the road out of their next 6, I believe it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 at home and 1 on the road. Detroit. But Boston and Detroit coming up. We'll know by March 19th, after that game in Detroit, you're right, if they win 3 of their next 4 here, and beat Detroit, I think you got to say, hey, all right, the Habs are home and dry. So it's good stuff. Very good stuff. All right, let's get to this, Hage. Let's see if maybe there's a couple of I'll get to a couple questions first here. Gudis has had several suspensions. I'd have been happy to see 10 games. Yeah. No, that's the other good thing. And I meant to mention, and I mentioned it to Tina earlier. You know, she's an Ottawa fan and said, well, the good news is that no Gudis for the next 2 games. So Carlson comes in and replaces him, one veteran replacing another. But yeah, I don't mind that part of it, that, you know, Gudis can't take out Demidov's knee or something like that, you know. I think yesterday was the first evening I was pleased by other results. All season long we've seen Atlantic teams winning. I know, man, it's just especially the last month, it's just over and over again. It was maybe the best all-around result that we've seen in a long time. There's no doubt about that. I was thinking the exact same thing. Is Grant talking about the AHL trade? Yes, I did, folks. Excuse me. If the Habs have 5 or 6 rookies on the roster, that would be quite high count per NHL standards. Yeah, for the playoffs, sure. Remind you of 1993, 86. Lots of rookies. It's one of the reasons they won. It was just that youthful enthusiasm. You know, and veterans couldn't be comfortable. Totally agree with you, Grant. I'd rather rag on Matthews for his forward play than to see that nonsense. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't like to see anybody get hurt like that, even Matthews. Not going to lie, after falling kidneys, less than start development, glad to get a goalie and forward back. Any insight into our new? Yeah, I did touch on that. Knowing how many trades work after the trade deadline, can a player be traded for a draft pick between now and the playoffs? Yeah, a player can be traded. They just can't play any games if they get traded, right? But you don't really see trades too much. It's rare because, you know, why are you going to – it's not fair to a player to trade for him and then not play him in the playoffs. They're not eligible to play on your team and in the playoffs. Like, you know, that's why you don't see it. Yeah, exactly. How someone with medical background handle player safety? Well, yeah, that, you know, that's exactly what I was thinking, like a doctor, or, you know, Mark Recchi. They should get Dr. Recchi in there in charge of player safety. Good idea, Mark. Goofus. I think that was probably done. That was a spelling mistake on purpose. Should have gone for at least 15 games. I agree. Should have thrown the book at him. I'm tired of it. Like, it's just, it's rare that I agree with a suspension. And I mean, typically it's under what it should be. Okay, Basha got the 3rd goal. It wasn't Pickford. Asking too much to want Pickford to get a Hattie again tonight. Oh, I'd like to see him hit 50. And if anybody could do it, Pickford for 50. Yeah, Kenny, for sure. I'm presuming out of the spirit of the rule that teams can, but I don't know. Yeah. Why? What are you thinking? Like, what do you? Anyway, it happens so rare. I wouldn't be thinking about it. Probably not enough games. 50. Yeah, everybody. We're all on the same. We're all on the same wavelength when it comes to that. Grant, are you surprised not seeing Engstrom in Button's list? What? How many do top 50? No, I'm not. He wouldn't be top 5 Habs prospect. I mean, hey, 5. Be happy with 5 in the top 50, man. It wouldn't be far from the top 50, but hey, when you got 31 other teams, right? All I need is one friggin' 2 prospects in there, and that's 60, 62 right there. Pause for a burp. There you go. Didn't pause for it, but I can burp. You want me to burp? I can burp on command. No problem there. Whack. Thanks for that. All you got to contribute tonight. That's a good hockey take there, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. I'm sure Craig was going by ceiling. Yeah, and I'm going by ceiling too, Ken. Reinbacher's ceiling is here. 25-minute defenseman. Zrosky turns out the best that he can turn out. He's a second-line winger on the Montreal Canadiens. He'll never be a first-line winger in Montreal. Reinbacher, I think, will be a first-line right defenseman. You tell me which is a higher ceiling. And ceiling isn't just point totals. It's, it's value to a team, right? First pairing right defenseman, or even a second pairing right defenseman, is better than a second pairing winger, and that's even questionable. Like, will Zrosky be better than Slafkovsky? No. Will he be better than Caulfield? No. Will he be better than Demidov? Hell no. Will he be better than Hage if Hage becomes a winger? Not in my mind. So that would put him the 5th best winger on the Habs. Like, that ceiling is below Reinbacher's ceiling. Not even close. Not even close for me, Kenny. Yeah, Edmonton lost in OT to St. Louis. Oh, that's bad news for the Habs. Damn. I scouted alongside Denny Morrell. Not sure what that means. That Pacific Division is pathetic, and then they'll win the cup to humiliate me. Probably. Luke Mittelstadt signed to Laval as well. Yes, Jay? I talked about that, buddy. The Shepherd goaltender won 2 times the Calder Cup with Hershey. There you go. Not bad, eh? So, yeah, he's a capable AHL goalie, and they needed that. So good. Emil scored on a couple of nice tips tonight. Oh, yeah? Is he back playing with the Yellowheads there? Oh, Emil H. Oh, okay. Not Emil Shelborn. All right. Yeah. Well, good for him. Any intel on Pinchuk? Yeah, it's funny. 2 or 3 years ago, I brought him up with Bob Robin. Oh, we don't look at any Belarus prospects. There's no NHL Belarus prospects. Oh, okay. I mean, because at the time he was like 20, 21, playing for Dynamo, Minsk or whatever it is, and playing regularly and putting up some points. And it's not that common. 6'3" guy. I've noticed him. I've kept an eye on him since that year. And yeah. So I don't know. Like, not a he's kind of skinny, lanky, not a great skater. Maybe he's maybe he signs somewhere in the NHL, but do I think it'll be Montreal based on what Bobroff said to me at that point? Probably not. It was Emil. It was Emil that talked about Emil. I didn't even look at the person there. That is kind of you always keep tabs on Emil. Would not even be worried if they were in the Pacific. Montreal, yeah, I know. Ceiling was in regard to Engstrom. Okay. Yeah, I know, Emil, that Fowler was left off, and I said that. It says right there on the thing that when I brought it up. Thanks for the evening chat. Almost forgot. Okay, Sheldon. Thanks for the toonie. And I hope we'll go back and watch it the rest later, buddy. I appreciate the donation. We're not getting too many people out here, but that's okay. 48. We have 48 here. So I won't get too much income from YouTube. So you chaps sending me a little bit of cash helps make this worthwhile. I'm only gonna keep this about an hour because the young lad came home. He hasn't been getting enough time down here. I've been stealing his gaming time, so I am going to I'm gonna wrap this up after about 60 minutes. I promised him so. Less than 35 centers have 20 goals. And some who don't are number one centers playing more than 18 minutes of great wingers at power play time. But Cappy is still disregarded somehow. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Fowler would have been third overall prospect on Button's list. Yeah. Yes. Not many of us. There you go, Emil. Grandson had a hockey game. Oh, okay. Kids in their gaming. Yeah, I know. He threw a little fit the other night about me being down here for an hour and a half. So I promised him I'd keep it to an hour. So I guess I better get to this. Michael Hage. All right. So this was against Notre Dame. Wednesday night, I guess it was. 4 assists and a 6-1 win. They're playing semifinal tomorrow night. Should be a good one. Let's get to it here. He was excellent in this game, man. But what I like when I'm watching is I know, like, okay, and there's a good defensive play, got to the front of the net. But I know, like, I can spot Hage. You just look for the guy that's skating faster than everybody else with the wide track skating, right-handed shot, But you just notice that just such a powerful skater. He moves so well. He's ready. Physically, he's ready. Yeah, TJ Ginla at the top of his list there, Ken. It's a good prospect, but absolutely loved his game in all regards. Look at him here. He did this throughout the game. He jumped back for that wasn't a great defensive play, but he was back there. He jumped back for the defenseman cover for him. And that's not typically a center's job, but he did it a few times in this game. And I like that. I like how much, and there he gets in on the forecheck, hits, gets the puck, gets it over. See that little move he made, the nice little stick handle, and there he is back again. Covered for the defenseman. Did a half-decent job of, staying between the puck carrier and the other opponent, and then came back up the ice. But he has the speed to, be in on the forecheck, be back on the back check, go back in on on a rush again. There he went to the net, almost tipped one in. Look at this, eh? Almost, hey, yeah, he lost it, but good burst there. He almost had a beautiful highlight reel play. Here he tips it out to Perreault, gets it out. Perreault comes up. This was his first primary assist. Boom. Perreault's having a good year. Here he steals the puck, and look at the pass too. It's rare that he doesn't put the pass right on the stick, and that was quick too. Like right away. Here he gets the puck back. Nice shot on net. His game. This was easily one of his best games of the year, and unlike last year, when he was pretty quiet in the regionals in the playoffs. Off to a fantastic start with this game. And it wasn't, look at that pass, eh? Yeah, he had 4 assists, but you know what? He could have had a bunch more. He was just really good. There you notice winning another face-off, right? He won. He didn't do too badly in the face-off circle in this game. I think that might be a repeat. But anyway, I'll just, I meant to look up his face-offs, and I did not. And I'll get that stat here. How many draws he won. Look at the pass. And then get back. Get back in the play. That's what I love how much his defensive game has come since last year, but even since the start of the year. Look at that. That's his patented move, right? Let's just back that up and show that again. He's tough to stop when he lowers the shoulder like that with his speed. Almost a highlight reel goal on that play too. So like I say, wasn't just the four assists where he created. He's going to help Montreal's power play. Like that second power play, he's really good at carrying the puck into the zone too. I don't like Alex Newhook on the second power play carrying the puck in. He's just not a play creator, and Hage is. He makes, he sees the ice so much better than Newhook and is so much better at playmaking that he gets into the lineup at the end of the year. He should be the guy that brings the puck in to the zone and not Newhook on the second power play. He loves setting up shop there on the left side. Look at him he's getting hooked and falling down, and he's still backhand pass right on the stick across ice. Just playmaker supreme. I think he could be a 40-50 assist guy if he gets to play lots on the power play in a top 6 role, and especially with the other talent that the Canadiens are going to have top 6. I think personally, I would put him with Cappy in the last 2 games of the year. Cappy and Demidov, especially if they already got it wrapped up. Maybe if they don't, maybe they, if they still got to win those last 2, maybe that's just asking a little too much, even for Marty. But if they have clinched it, why not put him with have a true rookie line there, right? The 3 of them, and get Newhook back on the third line. That's ideally where Newhook should be, really. The play creating's not there. There's another one of his assists. He gets the puck and gets it to the front of the net. Yet another. I don't know if that one was a primary assist or not, but he had at least 3 in this game. But I really liked his effort on the back check all game. I liked how we covered for defensemen. There, just good play after good play on both ends of the ice. And we saw that in the World Junior Tournament too, right? Oh, there he comes back, takes out the player. Look at him wheel too. He you know, I like how he comes back, circles, and there's a nice hit. It's just whenever I've got 10 minutes of highlights of a player, they had a good game. Gets the puck out, but he's got a physical edge to him that's only increased as he's gotten he got bigger and stronger in the offseason, and he's put that to use throughout this season. Not afraid to finish his checks. He's going to be a big boy, like 6'2", 200 plus, and they could use that in the lineup too. But also not afraid to throw his body around. And again, that is something that they could use. A 6'2", 200 pounder, they'll throw his body around. That can play in your top six. Maybe they were looking at Matthew Nyes, but hey, Hage can be that Matthew Nyes player, right? It's there he again got involved, got physical with the guy in front of the net. Here he is back covering up for the defenseman again, but then wheels. He offers he's gonna see how he always makes himself available for the pass and look at this. He just looked like he's in trouble, but he freaking just scoots. But see how often he gets the puck from the defenseman, because he comes back and goes in that circle with that speed, is open, right? Gives the defenseman an outlet pass 90% of the time, and the NHL guys will love him for that. He took a good hit there, but he's pretty solid. He didn't fall down. There he got a shot, his one-timer. He's got a good one-timer too. Likes to let it go from the left side like Caulfield. He can be the Caulfield on the second. Look at the rush here. Oh, I'm going to back that up and show that again. But was he good or not, or what in this game? Here. Oh, nice strong move to the net. Love it. Then he gets the puck again, gets it over. Just dominant. Absolutely dominant in this game. And again, this is, Notre Dame's not great, but it's a friggin' playoff game, like quarterfinals. So they aren't the worst team in the Big Ten. And he just dominated them. Here he is on the power play. He's going to help the second power play so much. Gets off another one-timer. Gets the puck in the corner. Makes the right pass back to Horkoff. Perron. They wheeled it around. Didn't score, but he's we saw it at the World Juniors for Canada. Just exceptional on the power play. Wouldn't even surprise me if he ended up being a first power play guy at some point as he develops, but definitely will help that second power play. Like, they need a playmaker so badly. And bingo, there you got right there. And look at the shot too. Didn't score in this game, but he certainly had some chances. I like that. How he just, that second gear, right? Gets the puck and then just jumps away from the player, and then ends it off with his fourth assist. So absolutely love that game from Hage. Definitely top 3 game from him this year. And, came up big in the World Junior Tournament, was, I think, the best forward there. And then I said, okay, next I want to see him do it at playoff time, well, so far, like 4 assists and could have had 6-7 points. Just awesome game from him. So I hope you're as impressed as I was. Just a superb game. You know, I was looking and trying to say, well, so does he sign this year after? Well, you know, you look at Gabe Perreault's a good example, right? Picked at 23, third overall. Top 10 in scoring in college in his sophomore year. Came out after his sophomore year, right? Rutger McGroarty picked in the teens. Top 10 in scoring as a sophomore. Signed, right? Came out. Nazar selected 13 overall, turned pro after his sophomore year. You know, I can come up with a lot of other examples, but do I think that yeah, do I think he'll sign? I do. And I think he'll, you know, it'll be the deal where he gets the last 2 games in. That'll be part of the signing deal. And, you know, it's funny this coming out about Gallagher maybe sitting the odd game. Guess what? Hopefully they've got it clenched for the last 2 games. They say to Gally, look, you know, we want you rested up for the playoffs. You sit. We're going to put this kid in and give him a look the last 2 games. So I don't know that's a coincidence that this kind of came out that, you know, they might be looking at, I mean, with the back-to-backs obviously too coming up. I think you'll maybe, hopefully we'll see Gallagher sit at least one of these back-to-backs, maybe both, the second game or the first game of the back-to-back in each. We'll see. Texier, like, Caulfield will be back. Should Texier be out of the lineup now after scoring and playing on the top line? He probably deserves another cookie. So, you know, do you take him out again and leave Gallagher in? Maybe Gallagher sits tomorrow night and Texier stays in and Caulfield comes back in. We'll see. All right. I'm going to few more questions here and I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, I told him an hour. So at most I'll go another 10 here. Yeah. So tell me what you guys think of what you saw here. He blew me away. He has a big hockey brain. Yeah, he's smart. Sees the ice well. I think Hage was 6 for 10 in faceoffs. Yeah. I don't know. Just give me a minute here. But yeah, I'm more sure that he can play center now too. Will it be in the NHL in the playoffs here? Maybe not, but down the road, yes. And I could see him and Cappy kind of switching back and forth. You know, H maybe taking faceoffs in his on his good side the odd time, and Cappy doing the same on his good side. Let me just look and see here. What is faceoffs? Okay, took 10 faceoffs in the game. So yeah, I could have been 6 for 10. I don't know why the faceoff percentage isn't here. I might have to just sorry folks, just bear with me a sec. I got to add this faceoffs. Shots, passes, faceoffs. Okay. Face-offs by zones. Okay, well, I don't want that. I just want face-off percentage. I don't know why it's not coming up, folks. But according to this, he had 10 face-offs, so that might be accurate. Okay, well, there's face-offs 1 percentage. It's supposed to be on there. Let me just double check here. All right. According to this, 50%. 17% the game before. 100%, but he only took 2 the game before that. 10. Ooh. Yeah. His face-off percentage in the last 5 has been 39%. So it's still a work in progress in the face-off dot, but he was at least 50% in that game. Definitely plays the center spot defensively and offensively if the face-offs ever come. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't call him a lock at 2C. I mean, just as somebody was stating about, how few centers score 20 goals. Cappy did it as a rookie here, and he's definitely better on face-offs. He kills penalties. He's better defensively. Definitely. I would no. Lock, no. But candidate, yes. Hage to Demidov for one-timers with that passing would be great. Well, Hage to Cappy with his shooting ability is what I was thinking too. Like at least when Hage gets it to Demidov, he'll probably pass it again. Cappy, you get him in the right spot. Like there have been a lot of times this year, Cappy gets to the open spots and he isn't always spotted. With Hage, certainly compared to like my first thought was instead of Newhook, frig, if you could get Hage with Cappy's going to be a 30-goal scorer playing with Hage and Demidov. But yeah, Demidov would get more goals too. Home ice in the final days, yeah, exactly. You know what teams have the best power play too? I'm not sure. No, I don't. I was surprised by your take on Newhook. I feel he's the best Habs player at zone entries. Oh, he's able to enter the zone, but then he doesn't do anything with it, Francois. Greg, he was horrible the last game. Gets to the friggin' zone, gets it in, he can skate past people, but then here, have the puck on me. Respectfully disagree, Francois, that he's the best at zone entries. I mean, he gets in the zone, but that doesn't mean anything. Hage and Kapman should be on power play too. Yes, I agree. Pickford picked up another assist. Good. More and more we see one unit on the whole power play if it stays in the O zone. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't mind Newhook on power play. I'm more of a humble eye test guy than stats guy, but I don't mind Newhook. Yeah. Well, no, I want a guy getting it in and making the right play, and that's Hage. He's light years ahead of Newhook. Seeing the ice, making the creating stuff. That's just not Newhook's game. He'll wheel past people. He'll get into the zone 100 mile an hour and then pass it to a guy that's got 2 guys checking him. That's a foot away from him. Just drives me crazy. Yes, Sheldon, very impressive for sure. Yeah, that would be, but they'll probably do Doc instead of Cappy. They don't seem to like Cappy on the second power play, but that's a nice. Oh, Hage, Cappy, Newhook, Doc, and Dobson. Well, who's missing there then? Something like that. I mean, I'd like the look of that. I think there's somebody missing, but anyway. Somebody that Bolduc. They probably have Bolduc instead of Cappy. Wouldn't be my choice, but can't wait to see this forward line. Newhook, Hage, Jarosky. I want to see Cappy, Demidov, Hage. Agree, Ken. Second power play only gets about 30 seconds. Yeah, depends. Somewhere between a minute and 30 seconds usually. Sometimes it's not no time. Sometimes it's 10 seconds. But, make the most of it. Before Newhook, Doc, our power play 2 was not even able to set up in O-zone. Since Olympic break, they had multiple goals. Very well set up. Yeah, no. But you're going to just keep arguing it. We'll just agree to disagree on it, Emil. They scored goals, but not because of great setups. It just happened. They scored a couple of goals, and it was just shots got through from the point, and that it wasn't because of Newhook's great creativity. Trust me. I can't wait for him and Reinbacher. Yeah, I know. Galley can be held out, but he's only on the ice when Gudis does his thing. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. Galley is missing. Yes, I know. He will be missing when Hage is in. Newhook does not have the vision. No, he does not. And I don't like him. Newhook's better when you're moving around. And when you're standing still in the offensive zone on a power play, that's not Newhook's. That's not for Newhook. I'd rather him not being on the power play at all. Like he uses his speed to create offensive chances. When he's standing around with his lack of vision and missing the net with a shot all the time, I don't want him on the power play at all, to be honest with you. I'd have Bolduc, Hage, Doc. There's somebody else I'm not thinking of. Bolduc, Hage, Cappy, Doc, and Dobson would be my 5. Okay. Well, I'm already I'm 70 minutes in here. I wasn't picking on you, Emil. I was picking on anybody that's disagreeing with me. Don't disagree with me. Carbomcio. Look at the riches we have when Jarosky might be the third line guy. I know. Exactly. This might not be popular, but I could see Jarosky being traded. So could I. Donnie. Beer's assist for games for this weekend, friend. Okay. I'll pop a couple tomorrow night after yet another win. Does that sound good? Thanks, Donnie. Look, guys, appreciate y'all coming on. We're up to 70. We're finally getting people on board, but I got to go. The young lads got to. Tomorrow night, I'll come on a little longer after the game. Okay, I promise. Thank you, Sheldon. I was just hiding and letting you take the hit. There you go. All good, guys. Newhook's not horrible. And yes, he's got the speed to get the puck in the zone. I just plays die on his stick. Don't have weak ankles. Thank you, Carbomcio. Do I think Jarosky +2 is too much for Matthew Nyes? Oh, I don't know. I don't think they need Matthew Nyes. All right, guys, I gotta go. Thanks for everything. And I don't know if I'm going to do something tomorrow pregame. Probably not, but definitely after the game, I'll get on here and we'll rock and roll. Okay. Appreciate you. Hit that like button, please. Check out nextlevelhockey.com, logsend.com. My two sponsors, they're great. I'll be giving them a plug tomorrow night. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a pleasant evening. Francois, keep those ankles strong, buddy. Okay. Have a good night.